Hey, Adam Davidson, RadCast. It's Wednesday, the 4th of March, 2020. Let's get right to it. This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 1. Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. After fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. The tempter came to him and said, "If you are the Son of God, tell these stones to become bread." Jesus answered, "It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." And that's the word of the Lord. What does it mean that Jesus was tempted? This is really important. Two things. One, for Jesus to experience temptation, that means that he knows what it's like to be human. Because here's the reality. You and I, as his followers, are tempted all the time. We are surrounded by temptation. John Wesley said, "It's not likely that the devil is going to tempt you to turn stones into bread." That's unlikely. He did that with Jesus. It's probably not going to happen with me or you. Wesley goes on to say, but that's okay. I'm paraphrasing here. He says, but he says, that's okay. We don't need Satan to tempt us. We have plenty to tempt us on our own. I mean, think about it. The things in the world around us, the things inside of us. I don't need Satan's help to do the wrong thing. Man, I am tempted all the time. Jesus knows what it's like to not only be tempted, but to be tempted like high pressure, high stakes temptation, because the accuser himself, Satan, is involved in this. And he's really precise in how he tempts. And so Jesus, as a human being, knows what it's like to be tempted. That's really important because the scripture says that he was tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. And for this reason, we approach the throne of grace with confidence. So the one that we follow is not unfamiliar with our experience. Jesus knows what it's like to be tempted, not just on paper, but in reality. That's one reason that it's important that we remember that Jesus was tempted. The other reason is because Jesus was victorious over that temptation. Jesus endured great temptation. 40 days and 40 nights of no food. Turn these stones into bread. Great idea. Do you want some? That's some serious temptation. When your stomach's doing all the talking there, he didn't do it. In fact, he countered with Scripture. He countered with the right Scripture. Brilliant. I mean, Jesus not only knows what it's like to be tempted, he also knows how to endure it and get through it and to say no, which means it's possible for you and I to do the same. We follow one who was tempted in every way just as we are, yet he did not sin. And then later on in 1 Corinthians, it says, no one has been tempted. You haven't been tempted beyond what you can bear. God's going to provide a way out. No temptation is too great. So remember that you may be led into temptation, but Jesus will lead you out. That's RadCast.